Hey, what's up? I got a raw 7, net 3, L1 R5, and I was able to do this studying like average 12 hours a day, maximum like 4. So I had like quite some free time, even during my O level period, which I used to like go to the gym, although I wasn't that consistent and stuff like that, like working on my passions. But and I'm gonna like teach you how to be able to do that in your O levels. So during like your O level period, or like right now as an O level student. Sorry. So yeah, I promise that by the end of this video, you'll probably be able to save more time and have more time for doing what you love, and not just spend the entire day like studying and studying and studying and working on your academics, which is horrible. Like a life like that is just your teenage life is wasted if you just study and study during your teenage years. By the way, my name is Isaac, and I help O-level students get single-digit L1 R5s without sacrificing their free time and their happiness. If you've watched me before and you want me to help you start getting A1s in 90 days while studying less, scroll down and click the top link in the description below right now. Because a lot of students nowadays are like freaking like trapped in the education system. They're forced to study 6-8 hours a day, like forced to work on their academics 6-8 hours a day, which is like anything more than 4 hours is just unacceptable, honestly, which is horrible. But there are like ways to stop that. Like there are ways for you to finish your studying faster, finish your homework faster, and still get good grades, and even like improve your grades from studying less. So if you want to know about that, scroll down and click the top link in the description below right now. And also click watching because I'll talk about some of those things in this video. So my story is I think it's around July 2022. I started to get into the gym, right? But then I didn't know about any of the things I talk about in my videos before. Sorry, during this time. So basically, I had no time to go to the gym. I had to go like after I did my work, which was like 10-11 p.m. Horrible timings. And then so my sleep like became like shit, and like I couldn't listen in class. For the love of God, I was like drifting in and out of consciousness, like micro sleep during class, and I had to like kind of bang my head against the like wall to stay awake and freaking be able to listen to the teacher, except that I'm not really listening because I'm half dead, I'm half asleep throughout the entire time. So that was not a cool experience. That sucked. Until I realized like a way to be able to save time and have more time, find time for my passions, as I'll talk about right now. So the first thing you have to do is you have to sleep well. Sorry, sleep more. 8 to 9 hours a day. I know it sounds like, I know you're probably thinking this sounds like counter, um what's the word again? Uh shit. This probably sounds counterintuitive, right? Because we're trying to save time. Why would we want to spend more time on sleep? Here's why. So I have to explain this every freaking time. So your brain. So how healthy your brain is determines how productive you are, right? How productive you are determines how fast you can do your work, your work efficiency, which determines how long you need to take to do your work, the time needed to finish your studying or your homework for the day. If we can improve this, the health of your brain, this is a brain, by the way. I always draw circles to represent brains because I don't know how to draw. You'll be a lot more productive, you'll be a lot more efficient, and the time taken to do your work will decrease more than proportionately. Meaning, if you let's say, oh yeah, by the way, I was gonna link sleep here. Like sleep is, if you improve sleep, you'll improve your brain's health, improve your productivity, improve your efficiency, and time taken will drop like significantly. So what I mean by that is basically, let's say you're sleeping like 6 hours a day right now, which is horrible, horrible, unimaginable, and I bet you sleep less than that. Um, and you spend like what, 6 hours a day finishing your work. If you were to increase your sleep time to 8 hours, okay, so you lose 2 hours per day, -2. The amount of time that you take to do your work, the same amount of work that would have taken you 6 hours before, it's not gonna take you maybe 2 3 hours. There are exponential gains to this. And so you like you gain like 3 to 4 hours back. And so you have a net gain of, honestly, I'm gonna 2 hours. I'm gonna stick to 2 hours. So you have a net gain of 2 hours per day from spending 2 hours more on sleep. Seriously, this is how it works. Like, I can talk about it in theory, but practically, like, it is how it works, because during my O level period where I was studying 2 hours a day, I slept like 9 hours a day. And I was looking at my like sleep records. I have an app that tracks my sleep, and I was actually setting aside like 10 hours a day for sleep, because I took some time to like fall asleep. Yeah, like this is insane to so many students, but the thing is, that's why your grades suck, because you don't care about your sleep. So, like, when the O level period came, everyone else was sacrificing their sleep so they can study more, enter more tuition, bunch of stupid shit. And I purposefully decreased my study time to like 2 hours a day so that I can increase my sleep time, because I knew sleep was gonna be good for my brain as well. Sorry, good for my grades as well. Other than also being good for your health and your brain and also your everything. This will improve your, like, this is the secret to my Raw 7. Just the entire secret. All the reason I keep talking about sleep in my videos, if you haven't noticed, I do that a lot, is that sleep is the most important piece of advice I can give for improving your grades. Like, I can give a lot of advice, but all of that advice is at most 30% as effective as sleep. So, like, I would be doing you a disservice if I don't mention sleep repeatedly and repeatedly in every single one of my videos. So here's yep. Sleep well, bro. And how do you sleep well exactly? So there are two parts to sleep that I find that are most important, which is consistency. Wait, sorry. I want to write quantity first. But quantity we already talked about, like it's 9 to 8 hours a day. But people don't realize this other very, very important thing: consistency or regularity. So basically, what this means is that the time that you wake up and sleep every day must be the same, even on weekends. So if you wake up at 6 a.m. and then you sleep at 9 p.m. on weekdays, on weekends you also wake up at 6 a.m. and sleep at 9 p.m. This is crucial for good sleep, because a lot of like random sleep problems, like waking up in the middle of the night or whatnot, comes from the lack of consistency. So And also, if you try to make up for sleep on weekends by sleeping more, by oversleeping, it doesn't really work that way because consistency is one of the factors itself for good sleep. So it's like you kind of get better sleep because you increase the quantity, but then you get worse sleep as well because your consistency decreases. So it's like you fuck up your sleep by trying to sleep more in a weird way because your consistency is not there. So you need to be able to sleep 8 to 9 hours, and you need to be able to do it every day whilst waking up at the same time and going to bed at the same time. If you can do that, your sleep will be 10 times better, your grades will be 50 times better. Okay? So, how do you do this? I mean, it's simple. Like, your actionable step right now, like, do this right now. Like, set a bedtime and a wake up time. I mean, the wake up time you don't really have to set. Like, you already know what it is. Probably like 6 a.m. or something because you have to go to school. And so your bedtime should be around 9 to 10 hours before this because you have to set aside some time to like go to sleep. So you probably want to sleep around 8 to 9 p.m. I would go for the earlier one. Like honestly, if you're actually trying to get good grades and also trying to do what you love as a student, I would just go for the earlier one because the earlier one is always better. So 8 p.m. that means. So yeah, you set this, you download this app. This is the app I use called Sleep Cycle. It's on both Android and Apple. I'm not sponsored by the way. I'm not that big enough to get sponsored. Uh, and you set your sleep goal as your what you set over here. So basically, Sleep Cycle has this things called sleep goals, which are basically your bedtime and wake up time, and then you aim to go to bed at this time and wake up at this time. For your bedtime, you can actually like set an alarm to like remind you when to sleep. Like you can do it in like an hour, 1 hour before you sleep. You set an alarm 1 hour before 8 p.m., like 7 p.m. And so you're reminded to like basically stop what you're doing and just take your shower, brush your teeth, change your clothes and whatever and just go to sleep. And like use a sleep cycle analysis on your phone to like see how good the sleep was as well. Alright, so by sleeping more you actually save more time. Why? Because it worked for me. It's practical. Like it's not just in theory, it's practical. It works. It works. Okay? So after you slept well, what do you do? This is very important. The second thing you can do is like just have a just plan your day. Like plan your days. Have like a Google Calendar schedule, like a daily routine kind of thing. Like you know Google Calendar, or alternatively you can use a Notion calendar. It's a O not a Notion calendar, which is like a slightly better version of Google Calendar because you can copy and paste stuff. But you know those things where you have like blocks of time during the day, and then you can like plan your routine, uh, plan your daily schedule, plan your day using that. Just use it. Like you won't believe like how much this helps. Not only will you be more productive, aka you save more time, you'll also be able to like carve out time that you can spend on your passion, on what you love. Because like you will see the amount of time you have per day like objectively, and you will be able to plan at what to do at each hour of the day, and so you can very easily include like maybe this 1 hour block I want to be going to the gym, or this 1 hour block I want to be playing the piano, stuff like that, you know. So yeah, have daily routines. Actionable step right now you can do is just go on to like Google Calendar or Notion calendar, and then you can just make a routine right then and there, and you can use the repeat function to like repeat certain things, like you know your school, like you know you're gonna keep having school, or certain tuitions or CCAs that you have, uh and certain things that you know you're gonna do every day consistently for like the near future. And yeah, this is just a great way to plan your time and to like fit in your passions into and doing what you love into your day. And the third thing you can do is to set your priorities. This is a good thing to think about when you want to work on a passion as well as academics. So basically working on a passion while still being in school. So you want to like set your priorities. Would you want academics to be above your passions and priorities, or would you want it to be the other way around? There's no correct answer, by the way. Like, you can put your passions as more important above your academics, because like honestly that's very much valid. I kind of do that as well. But you can also put academics as a greater priority over your passion. But you have to, how do I say this? You have to acknowledge that the one lower on the priority list you'll probably make less progress in that than the one above it on the priority list, obviously. So you can like write this down, actionable step, write it on a piece of paper. Would you want to prioritize your academics or whatever your passion is? Don't write like passion, write like exactly what your passion is. Maybe it's like gym or starting a YouTube channel or whatever, playing an instrument, sport, whatever. So determine which one you want to be above which. And how do you actually like prioritize something? Like what do you actually do to prioritize something? So there are a few ways to prioritize something. Let's say you prioritize academics. So do it earlier, work on it earlier. When you work on something earlier, that means you're prioritizing it. When you're doing something first, you're better at doing it. You have more mental energy, more mental clarity, more focus. And so you'll be better at doing the thing. And hence naturally you want to do the thing that you prioritize first. Like first in the day. Earlier in the day. Probably you can't do it like first thing in the morning because you have to go to school. Unless you want to wake up earlier. But then again, like that might affect your sleep. Unless you want to sleep earlier, which I do. So yeah. Another way you can prioritize things is you make decisions according to your priority list. So maybe there's someday you're deciding between, oh, should I study this extra hour or should I go to the gym with this extra hour I have during the day? So now that you have a priority list, you know like it's very obvious what the answer is. So yeah, make decisions based on your priority list. Do the prioritize things earlier. Like it doesn't have to be just academics and your passions. You can put a bunch of things on your priority list, like your health, which by the way should be number one. Academics, you can put like your passions, and then you put like relationships, family, whatever. And then in your daily routine, what I like to do is it will be very obvious that the first things you do will be your top priorities. Then you'll move on to your second priorities, third priorities, and the fourth priorities. Like this is, if you look at my routine and then look at my priority list, this is very clear in my routine that I do the top priorities things first in the day, and then I move on to the lower priority things later during the day. And so yeah, these are basically the two things you can do to prioritize something over the other, and also like saying no. But saying no is also like a subset of making decisions. So like whatever. Basically saying no to offers or requests that don't align to your priorities. So for example, let's say you're in school right now and your friend asks you, hey bro, do you want to go to the gym for another 2 hours? But like you know you have to study during this time. So if you prioritize academics over your gym, you will say no. If you prioritize your gym over your academics, then you will say yes. It's basically a subset of making decisions. So yeah, those are the things you can do to be able to do what you love as an O-level student. That's what I did. Those are the things that I did. So yeah, I hope this video is valuable. Once again, if you want me to personally help you get A1s without sacrificing your free time, get a single digit without sacrificing your free time, scroll down and click the top link in the description below right now, and I will make sure that you see those A1s on your report card when you report to school to receive your O-level results a few months or a few years away from now, and you'll basically know that you can go to any JC or poly that you want. So scroll down and click the top link in the description below right now. Give me any criticism or feedback in the comments below so that I can improve, and I wish you a good day.